Hey y'all, my name is Liz Ewan and welcome to my channel. This month we're talking about all things Preptober. Writing consistently every day for 30 days in a row can be hard, and it's especially hard when you're in the thick of it and have a bunch of different roadblocks ahead of you. That's why in today's video, it's going to be a little different. Today's video has a bit of tough love in it. More often than not during NanoWrimo, we find ourselves surrounded by different excuses of why we're not getting our writing done. Time, writer's block, lack of inspiration, and fear are usually the main culprits that get in our way. I am familiar with all of them because I used to use them as an excuse as to why my writing wasn't getting done. For the longest time, I used the fact that I work a full-time job as my reason why I wasn't writing consistently. My 9-to-5 job was getting in the way of my dreams, is what I told myself. That's why I wasn't writing as much as I would have liked. Then throw in time for family and friends. I can't not have a social life, I tell myself. My friends and family need me. But by the end of the day, I was too tired from all of my time being spent elsewhere that I simply couldn't write. And so I'd say, I'll get to it tomorrow. Well, tomorrow would come, and then I wouldn't write. Again, I'd fall asleep with the promise of tomorrow in my head. Tomorrow, I will write. But I lived my life in an endless loop, holding out for a vision of tomorrow that never came true because I thought that I didn't have enough time. Here's the thing though, I had time. I was just spending it on all of the wrong things. Instead of waking up early to get my writing in, I chose to sleep in until I absolutely had to get ready for work. Instead of spending my lunch breaks writing, I chose to scroll through social media. Instead of committing my evening routine to writing, I was watching television to unwind from my stressful day. All of these things are completely reasonable to do, by the way, but they aren't very reasonable when you have a goal of writing and the spare time you have is wasted away by other less important things. I used time as my excuse for a while. It isn't until I actually started looking at my day and saw what I was doing during my waking hours that I realized I had all the time I needed to accomplish my writing goals. Time was just an excuse. My lack of planning and creating time was the real problem. If I did sit down to finally crank out some words, I'd often find myself dealing with writer's block. Oh, inspiration isn't coming, or I'm not motivated were common phrases used. It was always my writer's block that was the problem, not me. If you're waiting for inspiration to strike or for motivation to come, I've got news for you. It's not striking and it's not coming. The key to overcoming writer's block is planning ahead and writing consistently every single day. By transforming your writing into a daily habit as opposed to a spur of the moment kind of thing where you only write when you feel like it, you can easily beat out writer's block. Don't get me wrong. There will be days where you maybe get 100 words on the page and then you have to step away. But that's 100 words that you've worked hard for and you pushed through. Do not let writer's block become an excuse to not get your writing done. Fear of failure really hits me hard. Have you ever tried something and failed? I have. When I was in college, I thought I wanted to be a music teacher. I went to my classes and found myself very unenthusiastic about the whole thing. My heart just wasn't in it, but I kept trying. I didn't give it my all, and I think in the back of my mind, I knew that I just didn't want to be a music educator. My grades consisted of C's and D's and sometimes F's. It wasn't until a few years into the degree where one of my professors took me aside and told me I wasn't going to graduate on time at the rate that I was going. I left that meeting devastated. And I mean, honestly, I went to college and it seemed like I wasn't going to graduate. I remember going into one of the piano practice rooms where you could just lock yourself in, and it was very much so soundproof. So I knew I wouldn't bother anyone if I just sank to the floor and just cried my heart out. And that was pretty much what I did. I stayed in there for a few hours, sinking down into that failure and just spiraling into a pit of despair. Here's the thing. I failed because my heart wasn't in it. I did eventually graduate college, but I graduated with an English degree, not a music educator degree. I firmly believe that a fear of failure stems from the fact that your heart might not be wholly committed to something. If you give writing your all, and I mean really give it your all, there is no way you can possibly fail. You won't fail because you won't allow yourself to fail. So what if you publish your first book and it's not a hit? So what if your first series isn't a success? The beautiful thing about writing is this. In order to not fail at writing, you just have to keep on writing. So keep on writing. The fear of failure hits me hard, but the fear of success hits me harder. There's a poem by Aaron Hansen that goes like this. There is freedom waiting for you on the breezes of the sky, and you ask, what if I fall? Oh, but my darling, what if you fly? Fear of success is a real thing. Let's say you accomplish your writing goal for NanoWrimo. Let's say you finish those 50,000 words. You're now faced with the question of now what? Once you hit your 50,000 words, I recommend you take a moment to pat yourself on the back before you get after your next great goal. Because you will have a next great goal, and it is going to be bigger than your last. What excuses are you holding on to? What roadblocks are in your way that you need to take a detour on? Think about it and let me know in the comment section below. Regardless of the excuses that you come up with, your writing will always be there for you no matter what. It is simply waiting for you to begin. That's all for me. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Bye, y'all!